Today I'm going to tell you another mystical story. The topic is very complex, but I will try to present it as simply as possible. So, today I want to point out to you such a forgotten concept as alchemy. At first glance, a completely worthless forgotten science of the past centuries. After all, who are the alchemists in the view of the masses? The alchemist is a strange oddball in a hood who, with the help of swamp moss, a decoction of toads and moonlight, tried to turn lead into gold. For this action, alchemists in Europe tried to synthesize the philosopher's stone. And it is this stone that should have incredible properties. It was he who could make lead acquire the properties of gold. In other words, alchemists are harmless city lunatics who brewed some smelly potions. They did not interfere with anyone, but in principle they did not bring any benefit to society. Well, that's what's weird. Humanity essentially does not understand where it came from. There is, of course, a Bible project that explains everything. God created man. Everything seems to be clear, except for a few nuances. First of all, how many stages has a person gone through after creation? In what form was it originally created? Who created the pagans? And how could they even appear on the earth that God created for the first man? Another interesting question is the distortion of the meaning of the biblical project in the 19th and 20th century editions. The mysterious question is, in what language was the first manuscript describing the biblical project written? In general, there are questions for the Bible project. And the most important question is, in what year did this biblical project appear? There are the same questions for the eccentric, at first glance, alchemists. According to very simplified ideas, an alchemist is a worthless city madman who, on a whim, or at the whim of the kings who sheltered him, was searching for the philosopher's stone. But this is a very simplistic view. In fact, the alchemists were not concerned with how to get gold from lead. They were trying to solve more global problems. Here's a look at the alchemical symbols of the elements to begin with. Element number 4 is sulfur. And this sign has a double meaning in alchemy. Sulfur is the prima mater, that is, the basis of everything that exists. But at the same time, it is the basis of hostile matter. It burns and destroys. That is, it turns everything into dust. People are known to bury ashes in cemeteries. And the crosses of the old believers for some reason reminded me of the sign of sulfur of the alchemists. Alchemists in their research were also aimed at recreating the ideal person. For some reason, they were sure that the ideal person was an androgynous. This is a being that combines two sexes, both a man and a woman. An androgynous is an ideal being. It is not subject to the fall and other human weaknesses. Androgynous is an ideal symbolizing the victory of spirit over matter. The androgynous had to break out of our reality, rise above it. After all, according to alchemists, an ordinary person is just an actor who plays his role on the stage of the theater world. The alchemists wanted to escape from our reality. They did not like the role of extras and actors in the world theater. They wanted more. They wanted to create a new person. A man who unites both male and female. Androgynous. And they believe that androgynous is no longer just an actor with a pre-prescribed role. An androgynous is a free being who has his own will and the right to choose. And an androgynous person cannot be forced to play on someone else's stage. In other words, the alchemists wanted to change human reality. In modern terms, to break out of the matrix. Attempts to create an androgen were carried out by studying the accelerated growth of metals by freeing them from the influence of time. The alchemist dominated the time when he repeated primordial chaos and cosmogony in his test tubes and in his soul. He experienced death and resurrection. The alchemists were not only trying to create a new person. They wanted to rule over time and matter. These experiments continued until the advent of modern times, that is, until 1616th year. After the advent of the New Age, alchemists stopped experimenting with time and matter. They abandoned the idea of androgyny and exit from the matrix. They have turned into people we know well. Eccentric scientists who prepared the ground for the birth of such a science as chemistry. Mysticism has almost disappeared from alchemy. Only pragmatism remained in alchemy. So what unites the biblical project and the early alchemists? They are united by one mystical thing: man is the first, because in the biblical project it is said so, and God created man. And man and woman created them. That is, the first person is two in one, and a man and a woman. The alchemists tried to recreate the perfect androgynous man, who would be able to throw off his shackles as an actor of the world theater. Androgynous is also two in one, both a man and a woman. Now let's look at the words of Jesus. Epistle to the Ephesians chapter 5 verse 31, Therefore a man will leave his father and mother, and will cleave to his wife. And the two will be one flesh. Watch my channel.